Hello, everyone. I see actually the majority of people here are under 30 years old. Well, I have a good news for you. We are the largest generation of youth in history. We are 1.2 billion of people worldwide, and that's quite impressive, I think. But the truth is, when you look at decision makers, or at parliaments, or people who are sitting in the boards, well, you see people who are usually average 50 or 60. And to be honest, I don't agree with this. I believe that actually youth are very valuable, and I think that our also opinions are very important, and we should be part of these decision-making processes. Today, I want to tell you how I developed these 7 ways of how you can influence politics, or maybe also business, every decision-making process that you think is important to you. But first of all, I would like to tell you a little bit more about myself and how I found myself in this situation with decision makers and how I cope with that. So as previously the moderator said, I'm Italian from Milan, and just after 2 weeks, my high school graduation, I moved here to Regensburg. And I never seen the city. I didn't know anybody. And I moved here because I wanted to study in German and in Germany, and because, I don't know, a ranking said this was the best university for foreign students. Well, I don't know, did that ranking? When I got here, well, I did not imagine this. I remember I was so proud I passed the German exam, so I was finally ready to study in German, and yeah, my professor was speaking Bavarian. Okay, great. But at the end, I decided to stay, and as I really like challenges, I tried to integrate myself in the society. So I bought a dirndl. I even tried to drink Spezi, which I think any other country has, maybe Austria, I'm not sure. And I even learned a few Bavarian words as Passion, Pakmas. I still don't know about my pronunciation, got in the next years, but it's okay. And so, of course, it was very hard to me to being abroad, not just in terms of being away from my family or my friends, but just in most of the occasions during my social life or even during university, I was mostly the only foreigner. And had the feeling, not just that I wasn't like an outcast, but I was very out of my comfort zone. But after traveling and moving again into other countries or taking part in other projects in other countries, I noticed that, okay, I learned how to be out of my comfort zone. And then actually now, being out of my comfort zone has become my comfort zone. And I totally like new challenges and moving. That's like part of my routine. I really enjoy it. And also after Regensburg, I moved to Budapest, to Hungary. And I had the chance to manage the European office of the Italian Chamber of Commerce. And I was very glad that I had this opportunity to work in the field. And the problem was, well, it was quite hard, not just because of the task or the job what I had to do every day, but because I had to meet maybe clients or other people from other Chamber of Commerce or high-level speakers or maybe people in boardrooms who were very different to me. Of course, as I told you before, like the average age is usually 50 years old plus, and they're usually mostly white men. So I could really see like the lack of diversity in leadership. And of course, at the beginning, it's not just that I was scared. I was like more annoyed by the situation because, I mean, I deserve this job. I have this job. Why I should be scared about having this job and doing this meeting? So after, I did not care. I just went to the conference or the meeting quite fierce. I tell my opinions. And you know what happened? Actually, yeah, those, as you say, average 50 years old white men, they actually listened to me. So it's possible if you show that actually you're a professional and also that your ideas are useful, not just for a project, but even for a company, people will believe you and they'll know that actually you're valuable. During the past years, I also tried to improve my knowledge. I moved to several countries. I told you I tried to learn other language. I wanted always to push myself over the edge just to get always better. But at one point I thought, okay, what is going on? I mean, I feel like a student, or maybe I'm working just in a city. I want to impact something. I want to impact someone. I want to change someone. Otherwise, what am I doing? What is my aim, actually? So I was so glad when last year I discovered that I've been selected as a G20 Youth Delegate at the G20 in Germany. I was so thrilled. I had to finally really the opportunity to meet decision makers and also to impact them with policies. So once I got there, I knew that my favorite priority was empowering women. So I decided with other youth delegates to develop more policies on this priority. And it was very hard. Just think about all the G20 countries and think about the topic of gender equality. Everyone had so many different ideas. It was very hard to find a compromise. But at the end, we made it. We discussed a lot. We made a lot of suggestions. And we made it. At the end, our policies regarding the G20 priorities, actually, they influenced the final G20 position paper. So the position paper, the communique the G20 leaders develop each year, that was such a huge achievement. I was so glad that this policy has been listened to every decision maker of this G20 country around the globe. But policy sometimes is not enough. Just drafting policies is important, but you should use everything that you have, every moment. And my moment was when during the G20 summit in Germany, with the youth delegates, we had the chance to meet the Chancellor Angela Merkel. And of course, for me, it was a quite weird situation because I remember just being a student or being in Berlin when I was 16 years old, and I could barely talk in German. And then I was at the Chancellery talking in German to her. But just apart from my personal feeling, I just thought that, yes, I have to use this moment. And when she asked me that question regarding how we can improve the quota of women in STEM in Germany, because we have already so many amazing policies, but they're not working, I told her my opinion. I told her that actually it was not enough to also invest in women when they're already 20 years old or 30 years old. That's too late for that. So I told her just basically my opinion. I told her that we should invest more in education, mostly also for girls, when also the young girls, they are in kindergarten or elementary school. And you can tackle so many problems just with education. So just think about a woman or a young girl who has a good background of education. She can have also economical independence. With economical independence, you can tackle so many issues. Also, for example, such as domestic violence or forced marriage. I was very glad when she was listening, but you were thinking, yeah, that's maybe just a small talk or blah, 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 she has to do that. But actually, a few days after, during the G20 African Partnership, she was addressing her speech. And she mentioned that it was very important, it was crucial to invest in young people, and that also they need to have a role, and that also it was very important to invest in young girls, because also educating young girls, it was key for the development of the agenda. The truth is, there are several ways, and now I want to, as I promised you, to tell you these 7 ways you influence society. And to be honest, you don't have to be at the G20 or know a prime minister to change and have an impact. First of all, find your passion. If you don't know what you're passionate about, what are you advocating for? I mean, you don't know. And also, in order to persuade other people, you should be really believe in what you think and what are your beliefs. And it can be everything. It can be sustainability or, for example, active citizenship. So for me, for example, I really believe that it's crucial to get more women in boardrooms and in leadership positions, both in politics as well as in business. And it's crucial to me that also more women are in charge of their rights. And since I'm so committed, I try every day to push my agenda. So passion, it's so key, it's very important. Secondly, be curious. So now you have your passion, but you need more knowledge as possible. So at least you have to research about your topic, get in touch with people who knows about the topic. You have to travel, you have to connect other people. And traveling is very crucial because when you connect with other people and also people who are really different to you, you can even improve your emotional intelligence, which is also very crucial if you want also to people make believe in what you said before. Create your online network. I know that right now, we're kind of struggling with social media, all the scandal that happened in this past month. But I think that we should use social media at least in a positive way. And they're still very important. So for example, If you remember about the hashtag of #MeToo, that was so powerful. That could really influence and also sensibilize society all around the world against female assault. There was just one sentence, just one hashtag. And you can use also social media as a tool for fundraising or also like creating other communities and also be in touch all around the world with other people who think the same about you. Create your offline network. I mean, it's important to be present online and about the branding and everything. I'm not a marketing expert, but you need to get out of your home or your office. So you need also to get out of your country or your city. So, for example, you can apply to different leadership programs, or for example, other workshops, either in your city, just a kind of volunteering work, or even going in other countries, because it's crucial that you connect with people who share the same beliefs and same opinions that you have. If you have this, first of all, it's like a good feeling for you that finally you find that someone that can deeply understand your beliefs, and then you can use that energy and the empathy to further develop your project. But what I believe is also important, that you need to be in touch with people who really don't agree with you. It's important because you can see your ideas from a different perspective, and then that you can also improve better to also pursue your agenda and persuade others with your thoughts. Find mentors. I know it used to be very important to have role models, either was an actor or, for example, someone from academia, a writer, depends on your career path. But to be honest, it's not enough. It was never my case. And I did not really have a strong role model. But what really helped me, and when I believe that really other people also are needed of, it's mentors. So a mentor can also guide you not just in your career path or during your academia, but for example, a mentor is a potential leader. And you should use this age when you're a college student or, for example, you're a young professional, use this time of your life because you're very likely to be in touch with these people and you're likely that these people will listen to you. Maybe it wouldn't be not the case once you're like getting older. Now this is the time when usually leaders, they kind of see potential in the youngster, and they want to help them to grow. And if a real leader sees that you have some potential, be sure that he will invest in you. Maybe it's like part of his time, or maybe it's even money. It can be something really important if, for example, you have a startup. Be part of civil society. This is very easy. You don't need any specific skills. You just need to cross on the street and join demonstrations. How easy is that? And I know a lot of people are still skeptical about this, but it's not true. If you see just a really kind of fresh example, what happened, a few weeks ago in Armenia, young Armenians were just marching and protesting in the streets, and what happened after? The prime minister to all the country said, "I am wrong, and also I will step down," and also he liberated the opposition leader from prison. So that actually that happened. And this is my favorite point. Is there to ask. And I see that most of you here are students, so you can really relate to this moment. So you know when maybe you're doing a lecture, or it doesn't matter, maybe you're, for example, in a really high-level panel or conference, and then there is a speaker, the professor, this really important person talking at the podium, and then at the end he asks, "Are there any questions?" And then comes this 5 minutes when everybody's still, nobody wants to talk, and that's so wrong. And this is why you should be smarter than others. You should use that 5 minutes just for you. Because in these 5 minutes, you will have the possibility to be in touch with the decision maker, which would be very hard to achieve in another opportunity if you're just, crossing on the street. That would be, to be honest, I think quite weird, depends. So for example, what should you do? Okay, it's your time. Are there any questions? You raise your hand. You present yourself very briefly, just few key words about yourself, that it's easy to understand and to connect in that few seconds. And then after this, you just say your question, and I just hope that you make a smart question. And just in that 5 minutes, the decision maker or the professor, depends which audience you want to address. First of all, it will remember your name. It will remember your job position or your degree. It will remember, I hope at least, that you're smart. And why not? You're also a little bit brave because you stand up front the audience and you have the guts to tell your opinion. The truth is that I didn't do anything particular, or I'm not special, I'm not a genius, I didn't create anything so important, I'm not the next Elon Musk. But what I did, it just had the guts to tell my opinion in that crucial moment when I had the possibility to. I was really great. What happened in Italy is that after going to so many conferences, after the G20 Youth Dialogues, I presented our position paper, our policies, to former Prime Minister of Italy, the President of Italy, and other members of boards and other CEOs. And you would think they wouldn't care at all about it. But that's not true. Actually, they were very interested in what we did, and they were like looking through our position paper and asking questions related to our policies. And what I was really proud is that in December, the Italian Ministry of Education signed a new legislative decree. So now girls in Italy can study for free STEM subjects at university. And that's amazing because it was one of my goals, and I really made sure that when I was at the G20 and when I was at other conferences, every occasion that I had, I was always putting the effort to talk about women in leadership and women in STEM position, because there is a real lack in our society. And I think our governments worldwide are not doing enough for that. So please, I want you to remember this. I want you to remember you don't have to be scared about not being enough for a position, or maybe scared about other situation. I often feel not ready for a lot of things. And maybe I wasn't even ready for this TED Talk. But usually I don't think too much, and maybe it's the same as I did in the past by moving to Germany or doing other experiences. I just do things. I just jump into a situation and I see how it goes. And actually, these things not just help me during my career, but they really help me to grow me as a person. And I really value a lot this kind of attitude in life. So please remember, no matter how old you are, no matter if you're a woman or a man, which is your background, your thoughts, your opinions, your beliefs, are valuable to the society you're living in. Thank you so much.